Okay, so this is part 2 of my conversation with Isaac, and I'm looking forward to you guys being able to hear the rest of this conversation. Remember to like, share, and subscribe if you connect with this, and let's get into it.
Okay, guys. Well, thank you for joining us after that small break. Me and my friend Daniel, me and Daniel were here talking about how perspective can seem to guide the idea behind entrepreneurship in people's minds. Yeah. So what I was talking about was perspective, and Daniel was making a point about how you find joy, which is entrepreneurship. I think the word entrepreneurship is overrated and sometimes underrated. I think it's either with that whichever perspective you have. I think like a lot of people tie entrepreneurship to business owner. Like there was a point that you were saying earlier, and in reality, you can be either or without either or. Yeah. Because I believe that entrepreneurship is a lifestyle. It's not really a business owner type thing, but it does always have to do indirectly or directly with you living with your own labors and kind of working for yourself. Yeah. I think that a lot of the situations that come up when asked about entrepreneurship, people don't really relate that to the freedom that you get from entrepreneurship. Yeah. Because entrepreneurship for me might look different than for somebody else. Yeah. So I think that in life, if you have the right perspective towards the situations that may come up, you will be able to be joyful in even when you feel sorrow, even when you feel sad, even when you feel stressed out, you're joyful because, and this is the point that I wanted to get to. Yeah. You said it kind of connects directly with what happens in the gym. I'm an active person. Yeah. I like to physically, be active, and I like physical activity. I like lifting weights. I like running around and doing cardio in the form of basketball right now, but it changes as my life goes on. I know you do too. Yeah. So for all my fitness people out there, I want to let you guys know, tune into this right here specifically and listen up, because if you can go to the gym consistently, you can change your life.
Come on.
I'm telling you right now. So
come on.
In the gym,
come on.
If you want real results, if you want real results, maybe you can edit that one before because I kind of slurred. You have to feel pain. Now, people who know that this is what they want, that pain brings joy, because it is weakness leaving the body. Yeah. So you're going through pain, knowing that you're going to get a result. So it brings you joy that you're achieving that result, regardless of what you feel. And then you start rewiring yourself to feel the more pain you feel, the better workout you're getting. Now, we're not talking about plate. Now we're not no I'm telling you now not the it has to be the right kind of pain though. You don't want to be in the gym having shoulder pain or joint pain, you know what I'm saying? My neck hurts and I'm doing chiropractic pain. Exactly. Yeah. You want muscular atrophy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's really what you want. So you want to break it down. Now, the difference is a lot of people don't have the patience to work out their life because everyone has been set up by this programming, by our society, and by the way that we live. Rent is everything. Who came up with this time? Yeah. Who came up with the time that you have to pay your rent every 30 days? Yeah. Who made these rules? And it's like, I'm the type of person, I like to test boundaries. Yeah. I like to test, why can't I do this? Yeah. Why can't I do that? Going back to my childhood, why can't I?
Instead of the first.
You know what I'm saying? On the 31st. We gonna pay I don't want to be late. I'm gonna pay it a little early. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, Daniel. I don't know why you're going to the second. I want to go the day before, but you still no late fee. You still on time. I'm a landlord. I have a lot of tenants. The 31st is better than the first. I'm telling you. Don't try that on the second. You know what I'm saying? The second, if it's on a Sunday. I don't work Sundays. So check this out. So I feel like everybody's wired to always get paid every week, every 2 weeks. Right. So you need the results. Pretty much what I'm saying is like people are not set up to have patience. Yeah, patience. That's real. And you realize that in any business, the person who gets paid last gets paid the most. Yep. If you get a builder, they get, the laborers are getting paid every week. You know what I'm saying? Other people, you get a 1-year annual bonus. The foreman might get paid every month with a bonus, aside from their job. The builder who is the one who's getting paid the most because he's getting paid once the project sells. Yeah. So a lot of people try to do entrepreneurship, but at the same time try to get that 9-to-5 results. And if that's what you want, entrepreneurship ain't for you, bro. Hey. It's not. Hey, man. All I'm telling you is be patient in life just like you are in the gym. If you go to the gym today and you do arms, everyone is
okay. All right, so
this is
gonna bring this up though.
Bring it up.
What about the person that don't currently go or that go to the gym, but they're not in the gym. You know what I mean? Like I was just saying earlier, I call it the buffet now. And so it's like, what about those people that want that, but that haven't went there yet? Like, what do you say to them?
How do I connect it? How do I
Yeah,
connect it without using
yeah.
the gym?
No, no, no. I'm saying, how do you? Because all right, so my thought is that everybody can do the gym.
Everybody
You
can
know
do
what I
the gym.
mean? And so, how do a person get to that point? Like, how do they get to that threshold to where they start to enjoy that pain that you're talking about during that process of, you know what I mean?
There's multiple ways.
Okay.
You got to identify back to like the APEST test.
Okay. Yeah.
Find out what kind of person you are. What
Okay.
are you driven by?
Yes.
Are you driven by the love of yourself?
Mm.
In the sense of like, are you self-satisfied with what you see?
Mm-hmm.
Are you a person trying to lose weight? Are you a
Mhm.
person trying to gain weight?
Yeah.
Set up certain, learn to set up your whole self with checkpoints in your life. How do you get to that threshold where you enjoy it? At the beginning, it has to do with faith.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if I'm sitting here telling
That's
you,
real.
go to the gym, you're gonna like it, and you've never experienced it, you have to take my word for it.
Yeah.
You got to take
Yeah.
my word for it. Other than that, now
Yeah.
you can either take my word for it, or I can show you before and after pictures. I mean,
Yeah.
just like any other business wants to, do some advertising.
Yeah.
I think that you have to go out and try it for yourself.
You have to do it. So that's what I was trying to not get you to say, but lead you to say
Yep.
to some degree, because everything that we're talking about, like we could have the greatest conversation, and
Yep.
we have, bro. We've only been going for 30 minutes, and I'm serious. Like there is some.
I feel like
some
there's a lot
nuggets.
more, but we're gonna need
There's some
100.
nuggets, and so the wild thing is though is that it's like getting to that start. It's like every entrepreneur is different. Like you got people that are geniuses, but you
Yep.
got people that aren't. You know what I mean? You got people that didn't necessarily do very well, academically, or they're just not school people, whatever, book people. You got people that come from different backgrounds. I'll start from there. Go ahead. Are you picking up?
No, you good?
Okay. But you got people that all these different coming from these different backgrounds, and the thing is that it's so much, it comes down to like, man, like do you, if you want to do it. So for instance, and I'm not, flexing, but I'm a musician, so I play keys, I play guitar, bass, drums, so I play tons of stuff. All
too.
like
Me
people
too.
always ask, yeah?
Yeah.
Bro, people always ask like, when did you learn to play? And it's like you can never necessarily give them a clear answer. I can't.
Yep.
Like, I've never been able to
100%.
say at this time. It was just a process of I wanted to do it, and so I started to do it.
Exactly.
And so it's like, it's the same thing with entrepreneurship, man. It's like, you have an idea. If you have an idea, like start freaking doing it. Like, and I'm always on people as far as like start saying that that's what you're doing already. So for instance, if you tell me that you're a basketball player, I believe you. You know what I mean? I believe you. Start, okay, play basketball.
Yep.
But you don't say, hey, I want to be a basketball player, and you don't call yourself a basketball player, until you're in the NBA. You know what I mean? It's
Exactly.
like you call yourself a basketball player.
Conviction.
From the start, you say it. Yeah. And so what happened is that same thing that happened with you learning to play something. One day you picked it up, and then the next thing you know, it's like, darn, like I actually know how to do this. This actually makes sense. You know what I mean? And it become easier and easier. And so, and I think, like speaking with the gym analogy, if people were to actually go on and stay in that thing, like just regardless of what it is in the beginning, like I think we've been at the same gym, maybe, bro, it's probably been 2 years
Yeah,
now,
a couple years.
which is
I was gonna
wild.
say a couple years. Yeah, time goes fast.
But like, bro, I was nowhere near lifting what I lift at the time, and I'm just like,
no
man,
one's near lifting
I'm
what you
this
live,
guy.
Daniel.
Come on,
No
man.
one's near
Come
lifting
on,
what
man.
you live, Daniel.
But listen, so I'm like, man, I want to, this is what I want to hit. And so one of the things that has worked very well for me that I learned is that I go in and, and I tell you, I'll do a warm up set. I always do a warm up set on bench. But just one, I don't try to do a full, set or anything just to get the blood pumping. And I immediately go to something that I don't think I can hit immediately. Now, obviously, do not do this if you are by yourself. I've seen some videos, especially recently. Don't go the heaviest that you've ever went by yourself. All right. But go ahead.
You told that to Jason,
Yeah.
and he relayed that to me.
Yeah.
And for the last 4 months, that's exactly what I've been doing. I'm just letting you know. That's how you never know who you're impacting, brother.
Hey, man.
There was a time I started going to the gym 25 minutes early to get that in. Every Monday.
That's it. So, and I'm telling you,
and it works.
I'm telling you, what happens is that because of that, like you didn't, because so much of it is, yes, it is a physical thing, but it's so much of it is a mental thing, and it's the same way as having a spot, you know. So it's just like, you know, for instance, with the 4 plates, I promise you, I did not think that I was gonna hit them 4 plates.
I knew you could.
But like the funny thing is, it's like because you know I had somebody that was there that was, you know, it changed my mind. Like, okay, well, forget it. Hey, I'm failing today. You know what I mean? And so I feel like with entrepreneurship, is that, bro? Like, man, I could care less.
That's Jesus in your life. He always got your back, bro.
Come on.
Always got your back.
Hopefully, the people that was on the bench trying to lift that, hey, yes, he's Isaac is correct in that, but be sure that Jesus may not pick that bar up. All right. So we're talking about in life.
Okay, there you go. We were talking about in life, in the situation, because you have to have that belief system in you. But definitely make sure that we get straight. That does not mean go to the gym and put on 3 times as much weight as you can and have somebody and have your girl spot you who might not be as strong as you. If she is, go for it. And you know what? That's going to be perfect for us to enter risk assessment.
Okay.
I think that this is a perfect position for us to talk about because there are 2 sides to everything. When you were talking about what people see entrepreneur, only the good stuff, and entrepreneurship, only the bad stuff. It's all about a balance. The secret to life is balance.
Okay.
Not too much of anything. Not too much of anything that you physically can get into. Because if you take on too much work, because one of the things that I always say is, again, everyone, that's why you have to have mentors. I think that always gets you, you know, the right level of guide. I never agreed upon having mentors because I myself did not have official mentors coming up. But as I more reflect on my life, I start realizing there were people who I set as my mentors, whether they knew it or not. There were people who I followed and looked up to, and whether they knew it or not, they were answering the questions that I had, whether physically they were because I was watching them or because I was asking them and they just didn't think nothing of it. So mentors is definitely a big deal to get. But I think balance is huge. It's, if you know, entrepreneur is not always too great or always bad. It has to be for you to be successful, you have to be in the middle. You have to have the balance of everything. So when it comes into physical activity, risk assessment. Can I push myself? My max is 200 pounds. I'm going to go in the gym and do 205, 210. I'm not going to be like, I was listening to the podcast, Daniel and Isaac told me to try something I can't. I'm going to do 400 today. Definitely don't do that because then you're going to set yourself back. Same thing in life. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be like, I'm going to be an entrepreneur now. So I have no money. I signed the lease on this building. I'm paying $5,000 a month and I got 50 employees. I'm doing it because you told me. Don't do that. Risk assess and teach yourself. Educate yourself.
How did they get to that?
How did they get to what?
How did they get to that place? So for instance, to know what that level is. You know what I mean?
Education.
Yeah. Okay.
You have to educate yourself in the situation. Or whatever whatever it may be that you're looking into,
working up to it.
It's definitely working up to it.
So it's just that process. So for instance, case in point, you know, you have going and name off what you got business.
So I have right now I got 5 active LLCs.
Okay.
Some of the businesses are newer.
Okay.
So I don't want to put out directly into the public and let some of my competitors know that I'm in the industry coming at them because I believe that I gotta be a big dog before I expose myself.
Name the stuff that you first.
But I do. So what I do right now actively, I have King Cellular, which is on 1022 East Santa Fe. Santa Fe Street, Olathe, Kansas. We buy, we sell, we repair, and we replace devices, anything that has to do with electronics. Make sure you come check us out. If your screen is broken, if your battery is inflated, you need something new, your phone ain't working how it should, bring it on by to King Cellular or take care of it. We got the best techs in town, in the area, and probably in the nation. And you know, and I know that I can plug in a few of my other businesses. King Flooring, we do a lot of hardwood flooring and finishing. Memory Maker, we rent photo booths for different events. We do weddings, we do parties, we do sports events, we do kids parties. And you know, and just to name a few, if you want to follow me, go ahead and follow me on Instagram. It's Isaac Leite 100. On my Instagram, you can go ahead and check me out on there. I drop a few nuggets on there, but realistically, Daniel, I've reached the point in my life that I can tell you I'm not only financially free, but I'm also just very free. I've reached a level of freedom, which is something that you have to strive for. It's not something that is you just reach and you stay. It's something that definitely needs maintenance. But I'm free to move around. I'm free to move around to do whatever, you know, whatever it is that we want. And to a certain level, because I still have responsibility, I also have to look back and look at the people who follow me, who I'm responsible for, when it's like my employees or people who work for me, because their development is important as well. I can't just be like, I reached it, forget everybody, I'm done. I want to go back and continue to just be the best.
Okay, so I gotta ask this, Dan.
Talk to me.
What was the first business that you started?
The first business, well, it depends what you call business, because I was selling pizza and cookies at 7th grade because in my lunchroom.
Be careful, because Uncle Sam may be listening.
Oh, so here's the thing. I would get my profit in food. So I would eat for free. I was poor, so I had to figure out how to get lunch. Okay. So they sold a box of pizza.
This was 7th grade?
7th grade, 8th grade. You know, they would sell a box of pizza for $8 or a slice for $1.50. Yeah. So I would get 5, 6 people to pay the $8, and I would have 2-3 slices for free. You know what I'm saying? They would sell one pack of cookies for $1 or one cookie for 65 cents. I'd have 2 people pay 50 cents for their cookie, and I'm had a free cookie. I'm in there for eating for free. Yeah. You know, there was a point I was stuffing my face and I was giving stuff away. You know, it was fun, and my life has been really awesome. So the first business that I did, let me see. So I started a construction business. I started an advertising business. And it wasn't the most legit, but it was a business because I worked for myself and I collected a check. I got the work myself. I hired friends to help and all that kind of stuff.
On the construction end.
On the construction and my advertising. By advertising, I mean like there was a friend of mine who did door flyers, door hangers. And he would get different businesses. So I assisted him to getting businesses to sign up with him, and then I would get 5,000 flyers for the month, 10,000 flyers for the month. And we would go out and do door hangers. I'd hire some of my friends. We'd split the pot, make sure that we're paying rent. Then I opened a clothing store that was kind of like a ditto. I bought a Plato's Closet when I was 18 or 19. And then I signed my first lease. It was on Santa Fe or K7, somewhere like that.
Plato's Closet?
I called it Styles.
Okay.
STYLZ.
That was the type of.
It was like a name brand, buying and selling used and new name brand clothing. I had a really good connection in New York. We just import some stuff. It didn't last long because I started buying and selling cars. That's really what got me and taken to the next level of my business. But you know, I've done quite a few different things that lead up. Now I've been in the car business since I was 20. I'm 30 now, so I did buy the building where my car dealership resides, and so that way I can stimulate my income, which I want to get in more. I'm getting more into like the real estate side of things, and so that way I can work for my capital, get my money to work for me, sit back, collect rent, and help people develop their businesses and stuff, which actually has got me to where I've done into real estate. I've helped develop other people and getting some of their the professionalism, how to get them there, so when I get construction I can get it for a really good deal. And I do the contractor job myself. So we can talk about that in a whole different episode. It's a lot of stuff, bro. A lot of stuff. You know, so right now I got a lot of stuff going on. I just recently sold my carpet cleaning business that I launched with a partner of mine for 2.5 years. Okay. I just sold it at the beginning of this year. I did very well on it. Really awesome. And yeah, I mean, here I am, you know, just living life, bro. One of the biggest things that I want to tell, though, the reason I think that I can get to where I am and the drive, everybody says, where do you get your drive from? I drive to be the best that I can be. I do not want to, just like I didn't want to make my parents be liars when I was a young kid and they were saying, this kid is smart. This is the smartest kid you're going to meet. I don't want to make God seem like he wasted a life. So I got to be the best that I can be. I got to do everything that I can. I got to be the best. I don't allow mediocrity in my life whatsoever. So you want this, you have to want this. No ifs, ands, or buts. No corners cut. You got to go straight to get it. Be the best you can. To the point that if you're lazy because you're tired sitting on the couch and the remote is across the room, get up and get it. If your body tells you I'm tired, I don't want to get it, and you have kids and you want to call your daughter like I usually do sometimes, but I don't anymore because I start nitpicking how can I become better? Where? How can I grow sideways if I'm already stunted? How up I can go? Get up and get that remote.
Come on, man. That, you know, what's wild, what's screaming out to me is that I'm hearing from you is gratitude. You know what I mean? You
I
seem to
appreciate
carry
God, man.
such an amount of gratitude on you.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's the thing that's just it's actually energizing just what you're doing, bro.
Yep,
Because
yep.
it's like I'm just thinking about how there's so much stuff that it's taken for granted in general.
100%.
And the wild thing is it's like, man, I'm constantly feeling like, man, only if like people can experience like that gratitude, experience that joy in life. Like I tell my girls, so I got 3 daughters,
Nice.
and bro, one is a senior this next year.
Wow,
coming
bro.
up. Wow.
Hey, you
And
done good, bro. You gotta
super
tell me your
wild, man.
secrets, man.
Yeah, bro. And
You look like you graduated yourself.
it's wild, man. Hey, come on now. And so, but I'm always telling my girls that, like, I legitimately wake up. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. I'd say 99% of the time, like, I wake up like super happy, like
Yep.
super joyful. Like,
Yep.
I'm excited. And
I'm gonna show you after this interview. I'm gonna show
the
you
wild thing is that, man, like, I want everybody to be able to experience that. And I think a lot of it is that's why I'm careful with the questions that I ask, because a lot of the times people may equate like money with with that. And the wild thing is, so I think this is the fourth conversation I've had with the entrepreneur, and not like really there hadn't been anybody who led with money. You know what I mean? There hadn't been one conversation that led with money. And just different backgrounds. I've talked to a lady who's like has her own esthetician thing happening. I have a guy who has a nonprofit who's doing some amazing stuff. And just the wild thing is, it's like none of y'all have led with money. What's like, how do you tell a person? Because like you just saying, like,
I'm gonna tell you right now.
before a person is there, you know what I mean? Like, before a person gets to that top of that mountain, it's just like all they can think about is, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Is like go.
So check it out. Everyone is backwards when it comes to money. Money's a tool. I feel like a lot of people have been, due to maybe society, surroundings, where or environments, it's all about money.
Yeah.
I'm getting chills, man. Money is a result of hard work. So you work hard, you're not gonna have financial issues. And I'm not talking about just working hard, making a lot of money, working and trading your time for dollars.
Yeah.
And then having bad money habits. Yeah. It's all around. You have to be the best person you can be. Once you don't allow yourself any mediocrity and you're actually your toughest judge, you're gonna have good money management. Yeah. When you have when you give yourself, because I feel like getting through there, you have to experience it. There's gonna be certain things that happen that get you to there. But once you get to the level where you feel like I am an entrepreneur, not only because I'm saying it, but because I'm practicing, you're gonna realize money is just a product of hard work. It's what happens when you work hard. Yeah. Whether it's, and the thing is, a lot of people get lost chasing money and don't have the joy. So bring it back to you. When you have the gratitude and you have the joy, that's what you should strive for. Yeah. Because once you have that, you're going to realize that money's going to come, whether it's 10,000, whether it's $10, you're going to find yourself in a position that where whatever you make leads you to your gratitude. It is enough for you to have gratitude. The rest is extra, because more money, more problems. And God doesn't bless you for you to spoil it on yourself, because he's going to do that in heaven. So if he's blessing you financially more, that's more responsibility for you. He's giving you that because he trusts you to do what he wants you to do with it. So whatever we own on this earth, as soon as you think it's yours, you're wrong. God has a plan for it. So have wisdom. Have a connection with him so he can actually be able to tell you what and where to guide you. Because in the next episode, I'm going to tell you a whole different crazy stuff about misusing and how to be selfish while being selfless. That's a whole different thing. If you have that gratitude and you have that joy in your life, money won't be a problem.
Come on, man. Listen.
Set your lifestyle to where you're happy and you're free.
Hey,
telling you, bro.
We're going to make you the resident guest here on the Mind, man. Like,
I'm telling you.
I mean, it's just such a dang. I want everybody to be able to experience that freedom.
The Mind will help you reach that sooner.
Come on, man.
Stay tuned and listen.
And you know what I've been doing? So I've been telling. I just started this. There's a reason why there's no labels on these bottles, and that is because we're not doing any free advertisement. And so if you have a company out there and you want your name to be able to sit right here on this table, sit right here with Isaac, this is your chance. Reach out to me. I'll let you know how we can get your name on that bottle, make that happen. But
Yes, sir.
man, so let me ask this question. All right. Young Isaac, what would you say to, and I don't want you to talk to Isaac who was driven. I want you to talk to young Isaac who doesn't necessarily even know that entrepreneurship is like even a thing. You know what I mean? So like, for instance, I'll say this real quick. So when I speak at schools, the first question that I ask, like whenever I'm talking to the youth, I ask, okay, what do you want to do? And I purposely don't ask what do you want to be when you grow up. I purposely ask what do you want to do for a living. I ask what do you want to do, and I always ask them that, and then like of course they give me all the answers that we all have heard, doctor, teacher, lawyer, veterinarian, which is all cool. All these things are great, but later on in the conversation I ask, okay, so what do you like to do? What's your hobby? What do you like to do for fun? Completely different. None of them say like I love putting out a fire. None of
Yep.
them say that. And so I asked, okay, why didn't you say that when I asked earlier, what do you want to do? And of course they all, it's like, well, because we didn't know that that was a thing or
That you
that was an
wanted to hear or
option.
something.
Yeah. And so I say that to say, what could you tell young Isaac that may not be driven, that may have received that same thing, that like, hey, these are the options, this is what people do. What do you want to say to them? Because
So
this is that opportunity for them to
so
hear
and
that.
and here's the thing. Edward's behind the scenes,
Yep. Shout
checking
out
it
to
out.
Edward.
Big shout out to
Yep.
Edward, EJ. So we were actually talking about this in the car before we pulled up. Because when I sat in here and I told you this is who I am, I'm not sitting here talking to you, Daniel, because this is an interview. This is who I am every day,
Yep.
all the time. This is how I talk all the time with the people who are surrounding me because it's my responsibility to be.
Yep.
I was sitting here and telling him one thing that people don't do. Actually, I forgot what we were talking about specifically, but there was a business that he was telling, and I told him, I was like, you know what people don't do? Learn stuff.
Mm.
Because they feel limited. Because if I become, and again, it's because I feel like it's society. I feel like maybe it's the schooling system. Maybe it's not. I could be completely wrong. I probably am. I always say that. But it's like you have to pick one degree you want to go to. You got to be a carpenter. You're going to have 4 years into it in your life, and that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
I say learn everything as a hobby, because what you're going to do, and it's crazy you say a buffet, is like I like to live my life like I live in a buffet where I wake up and I have options of what I want to do today, because I can fix cars, I can fix houses, I can work on this, I can teach people, I can learn something, I can do a doctor, how can I change a tire, how can I do this? Acquire as much knowledge as you can, because then when you want to wake up and I want to run a business about this, you don't have to spend this much extra time doing. So a young person, what I would say is go out and experience different things. One of the biggest things me and him been working on is I've had him doing, he's done since I've been working with him, he's done housework, yard work, car work. He's recording behind the scenes right now, social media work, video editing, pictures, sports, cell phones, you name it. We've done it because it's like, how do you know what you want if you've only been told 10 things?
Come on,
and you haven't experienced any of it. So my biggest thing is what I would tell the young people is go out and try stuff.
Come on.
Write up business plans for fun. Write up business plans. You never know when you're going to use them. Study things for fun. I've heard a lot. Anybody can talk to you about sports, right? But how can you monetize sports?
Yeah.
If you can.
Yeah. Yep.
So why don't you? Right? So I'm saying, like, everybody can name to you who's the player who dropped 45 points last night.
Yeah.
But can you tell me how to, what are the components on the tire, on the front of the car suspension?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Do you know how this wall was built?
Yeah.
Be curious.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just leave it at that. What would I tell them? Be curious.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to invest your time into learning something that might be meaningless. Don't only focus on things that you want to learn.
Yeah.
Learn something you might not like. You never know.
You said a few. So one of the things that stick out heavy on what you're saying is, and this is one of the things I say to the youth, is learn to learn.
Learn to learn, bro.
That's a t-shirt. Learn to learn, bro. Like, because the thought is that, man, like if you truly learn to learn, what happens is that, because of that curiosity, it's like it really does, it feeds another thing. So like, bro, everywhere that I go, anywhere that I go, I'm constantly in the process of like curiosity and wonder. So for instance, if I'm driving around, I'm constantly looking around and like, dang, there's an empty building there. There
Always.
needs to be a business there. What business could go there? And or no matter what it is, I'm wondering like, man, I wonder how they did that. I wonder how they opened that, or I wonder, what that's about. And but man, goodness. Okay.
Another thing about learning to learn is and just being knowledgeable. When you learn stuff, even if it's not going to be what you do, it's how you make connections.
Man, that was part 2, and that was super, super cool to have that conversation. And actually, I'm looking forward to being able to sit down with him again. And just remember that these conversations that I have with these different entrepreneurs is, yes, it's for to be able to pick up nuggets and to learn information, but more so just to be able to give more insight beyond just the numbers into what entrepreneurship is like, whether that's the good side or the bad side or whatever it may be. But with that being said, continue to like, share, and subscribe if there's anything that you connect with it, because I want to continue to be able to get this out to other people who may be like you and who may be like me.